Welcome to the MIGCA. In this video, we are going to cover the member login page. In order to access the page, you're going to have your username and password. If at any time you need help, like losing your username and password, you can simply click here. If you need help with logging in, there's information right here with help with logging in. Once you log in, you'll notice that you have a number of different pages that you can go to here. Your member home will be a blank page, and so we are going to go down each one of these pages and kind of show you what they are so that you're aware of what you can and can't do with your member profile. So if you go to your profile, you're going to notice that you have some information about yourself, and this is important for other people, other coaches, to be able to get a hold of you. You're going to see that you have your name information box here. You're going to have your address over here, your phone number, your emails, and the different roles that you have depending on who you coach and what you coach. Your login information will be down here. You can see your username and password. On each of these boxes, you have a pencil that will allow you to edit any of this information, so that if you need to change it, if you need to update it, this is the place that you will go. This is your profile page. You even have pluses on a couple of them that if you need to add a second email, or if you need to add different roles that you might play within the MIGCA or your school, you can add that. And lastly, if you have an email or a role that you are no longer in, you can go in and delete each of these things there. Okay. You can then go over to your member dues, and when you click there, you can see that your current status is. You can check the years that you were a member. You can see the amount that you paid, the date, and you can also get a receipt right there. Okay. When you go to tournament openings, this is going to show you what tournaments are open for this time of the year, to see if there are any that you might want to maybe attend in the future or coming up. This will allow you access to the boys and girls. Depending on the time of the year, there might only be 1 or 2 tournaments in the system. But then again, depending on the time of the year, you might see that there are 50 or 60 tournaments available. So each of these tournaments has the date of the tournament, it has the name of the tournament and the golf course, and it has the host school that has entered in this information. You have a chance to go to boys, you have a chance to go to girls, and in here, you not only are you looking at openings, but if you wanted to, you could also look at results. You can scroll down, you can read the information, and you can go through the different pages to find the different tournaments that you may or may want to attend. When you are done with tournament openings, the tournament results are here, and this is again another place that you might want to go check to make sure the results of each of your tournaments are in, or if you're looking just to see how other schools are doing, you can go in and view their results. When you go over to your school info, this is very similar to your profile, but this will hold the information for your school. So, for example, the people that are coaches in your schools, the number or the different teams that you might have, the address for your school, the default email address for your school, or at least a contact person, as well as different phone numbers for your school. This is another place where if you are a head coach of, let's say, the boys or girls, and you see in your school information that you have 4 other head coaches, and there are some people in there that they have not been a head coach for the last 5 or 10 years, this is where you might go in and you might go edit some of these. You will also notice this is the place where if you have people that you need to add as your coaches, this is a place that you can add them. I do believe that your coaches will have to be members in order to add them in here, but nevertheless, you can still add them in there. So this is your school information here. The next one, which is my teams, is where we get a lot of our information, and this is information that will affect our boys and girls. So if we go to our girls season right now, and the only reason I see the girls and the boys is because I'm a coach for the boys and girls, but this is a place that you're going to want to go to check on your team. Specifically, the name just girls is fine. But when you go take a look at your division, a lot of schools, or not a lot of schools, but some schools sometimes switch divisions. So this is where you're going to want to go in and make sure that this division is correct. This will be important because if you nominate someone for All-State and you're a Division II team, but yet you're listed as a Division III team, when you go in and nominate it, it will be a nomination for a Division III school, even though you are a Division II. You'll want to go up here. You're going to want to edit this, and you will want to change what division you are in. As you go through, you can see you have some other icons up here on the top. So if you go to your teams, you can see the people on your team. In this case, who the coaches are. Right up here in the corner, you can add them. You can then see the roster of your girls, and this is where you should go at the beginning of the year, and you should add all the players on your teams. And you should actually do this quite quickly at the beginning of the season, because as you play tournaments, other coaches are going to want to enter the results. They can't enter the results of your kids until your kids are in here. Now, they can go in and add kids, but when they do that, they don't know the graduation, they don't know the spelling of your kids' names, and so this is where you'll sometimes see you might have kids that have duplicate names if a coach went in and added it, and then you went in and added your roster. So it's very important at the beginning of the year to go in and make sure that your players are there. To make it a little bit easier, if you go up to the word players, you can actually import your players from the previous year so that you don't have to go in and add them all over again. And again, up here, if you want to add a brand new player, if it's their first year, you can go add that right there. You can even go back just for fun. You can select the year and go back all the way to 2011. You can see each of your players that you've had. You can even then, when you click on there, check the results from 5, 6, 7 years ago to see what they shot a little while ago or a few years ago. This might be important if you were looking to make a program booklet that would list the history of how your players have done. This would be a great place to go up and look at those results up. Up here on the top, you will also see the schedule. Now, this is critical. As you go through the schedule, this is where you will take a look at your schedule. You will add events. And so you're going to see here that other coaches have added teams. So this one right here, I can only view the results because I did not run this tournament, but I did have a team play here. And so the other school has added me and my players in here. So I can go in and I can check to make sure these results are accurate. That will be another thing I might need to do before an all-state selection to make sure that the scores actually got entered in correctly. And that your player who shot a 90 didn't actually get entered in for a 190. That sometimes happens, and therefore their average might be blown out a little bit. So you're going to want to check each of these. These events here that have the teams, the conditions updates, these are tournaments that I have hosted, so I get to control the number of teams in here, the conditions, and I can change each of these things here. And also update the results when our tournament is over, as well as change the date, the title, and those things over here with the pen. So this is where your schedule is. Now, at the end of the season, you're going to want to make sure that all of your events that your kids played are in this system. And if they are not, you'll want to contact the host of that tournament to make sure that they entered in their tournament along with the correct number of teams, as well as your players' scores and the scores of all the rest of the players. So this is an important part of the website because it allows you to keep accurate records of how your kids have done. You can also see up here, if you have an event, you can add it. Again, only add an event if you're actually hosting it or you are responsible for hosting it. I actually did not host a regional down here, but I worked with the regional host and said that I would enter that regional information in there. And so, again, you can go up and add events, edit events that you've hosted, or at least know what schedule or what your events are in there. So that is, it's a good look at your schedule. The last tab over here is your nominations, and this is where you will go in and you will nominate your players for both all-state, academic individual, and academic team. Now, you can do this at any point. The season does not have to be over. And in fact, we are not even yet playing the state finals yet. We can go in here, I can go in here, and I can nominate all state players. Now, when you do this, this is a place that you're going to go over here and add a nomination. You will see that I already have a player that I have nominated for all state. And when you go through the nomination, there is a number of items that you will need to have. You're going to need to have their address. When you click on it, you're going to need to make sure that you read this all-state nomination, the code of conduct, and make sure that your player conforms to this or meets the requirements. You can then see that all my players are here in their graduation year, that I can select any of these players that I would like to nominate for all-state. So if I click on one of them, it will then walk me through that I'll need to add their information. So you're going to need to get their address or their city, their state, their phone numbers. You're going to need to get all that information so that they can be contacted and letters can be sent out to them. And then you'll go through, and after you're done with the information, this program on this website will automatically pull the results for that player and put it in for a nomination. And you can check when you're done with the nomination. You can go over here and you can actually view the nomination. If something isn't correct, you can go to the pencil or the pen right here and you can edit that nomination. If at some point you feel this player should not be nominated, we would encourage you to go over and press the X to take that nomination off. It is very, very similar for the academic individual. You are going to need, again, information for that player. You will need to work with the school to get transcripts. Seeing that transcripts are private for that student and that family, you will need probably permission from that family to ask the high school for a copy of their transcripts. Those transcripts will then need to get emailed to our all-state nomination person, and so you can find that actually on the website. It is actually on the form of the nomination of who you will then email or mail those to, and it changes depending on who holds that position. As of right now, Hugh Felt holds that position, so it would go to him. So you can go in and add numerous nominations. Same thing with academic team. You're going to need the information for your team. You can add a nomination right here. And then you can go in and submit that nomination. Once that nomination shows up here, it will show up in our computer system, and your player then is officially nominated. Although we do not guarantee that you have entered all the information like their address and things like that you're going to need. You're going to need even like their activities, the clubs that they're involved in. So go through, take a look. Even if you're not nominating somebody, it's always good to know beforehand maybe some of the information that you're going to need. So go in, take a look, make sure you gather the information, and then submit your all-state. This process does take about 20 minutes if you have all the information. If you don't have the information like the address, then I certainly suggest that you go in and make sure that you have all that information first. So that is the information there with my teams. And so again, if you go to the teams and you go choose your boys or girls teams, all that information as far as nominations, schedule, roster, people, and information is all right there for you to go ahead and manage. The last one over here comes in really helpful, which is our member directory. One of the benefits of being a member is that I can connect with a lot of different coaches. So if I know their first name, last name, or the school that they are at, this database that we have available to you will list the coaches for each of the schools, will allow you to get a hold of them and make some professional connections and get to know some coaches. So that is a walk through the member home. I will click back on that home button right there. And again, everything you need is sitting right there. I hope that this gave you an introductory view of our member home page and how to get around it. Thanks for listening.